Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kenny O from Mahalo.com, and I've been reading all your comments. And well, okay, we're gonna do a little bit more serious. We're gonna do some Dragon Ball time. We're gonna draw Piccolo. Now, some of you guys have actually been asking for Dragon Ball. Someone's like, "Man, I love the cartoon stuff, but when are you gonna teach some comic book stuff? When are you gonna teach some of the, the stuff that I want to know?" And well, go ahead. I'm gonna listen to your requests, and we're gonna draw Dragon Ball. We're gonna draw my favorite character of the show, Piccolo. Piccolo was awesome, man. He was really good. I just like his character development. He was this mean guy, and all of a sudden he changed. He's like, I'm just changing to save Earth, and then he developed a good relationship. And even if he was outnumbered or outpowered, he still went for it. Piccolo is awesome. He's cool. He's #1 in my book. But let's go ahead and get started on how to draw him. And character breakdown is going to be a good one to watch too. Teach you how to see the shapes when you draw Piccolo. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to draw a big circle. Now, we're going to draw lightly because this is our construction line. And we're going to take that circle and go down the middle and just add a line. And then we're going to come about to where a little bit about half the circle, add a kind of some diagonal lines, and then kind of draw a little bit of a triangle. We're going to leave a little space right here in the chin, and then do the same thing. And come up. Good way to measure if I got the triangle right, but I can't reach to the top of the paper. But what I usually do is I'll take, the paper, like a piece of paper, and just, line it up 2 points that need to be, equal. So that's a tip for you guys to use. So I got that down, and that's the basic shape of Piccolo's head. I'm gonna even kind of map out his neck right now. Just kind of put just a couple of construction lines for his neck. Nothing major, just some doodles, to kind of like map out where I want this to go. And, I'll be doing more videos. I'll be doing a lot. I'll be doing full, right now we're just doing kind of a portrait, kind of drawing of Piccolo. In other videos we'll be doing, full body, drawings and stuff like that. And I'm going to map out his ears just a little bit and do some kind of seed shapes for his ears. Like kind of like a sunflower seed. And then we can kind of measure, see like how I told you right there. Let's go ahead and turn this off. And I can see that ear is a little bit different. And see, it's not even right there. So that's one good way we can kind of mini grid our drawing. But all right, that looks good. So then from right there, we're going to go ahead and put a line right where his eyes are going to be, a little bit lower. We go over his nose. Then we're going to go for his mouth. It's kind of bottom lip. And I can see right here, his face is kind of big. His mouth, usually his chin, let's say I'm going to go ahead and start shading his kind of bottom lip. And not going to be happy right there. So we're just shading this in. And normally his chin is really close to his bottom of his mouth, like right here. So I can adjust. So there we go. I can adjust. I like that a lot better. So I'm going to put a line down the middle because that's always pretty good. They always have like a line kind of running down the center of their face to connect their eyes. So it's kind of easy to remember. And we're just going to draw kind of an arc right here. And we're going to come up here and draw his brow ridge. And he kind of has a brow ridge like me. I have a pretty distinct brow ridge, which probably means I have a caveman somewhere relative. I'm going to draw his eyes. I'm going to draw him, not that out, and I'm going to shade around him a little bit just to kind of make him look like he's pretty brooding. Barely show his eyes to make him look really mad. Kind of come around here, draw just a few lines under his face. And then there we go. And I'm going to come around. And what he has too, he has those tentacles. So we'll just come in and draw some light lines for that. We have half of his face down pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And we can go ahead and just do the same thing here. Follow that line diagonally. You want to make it about the same size. You can kind of measure if you have a pencil. You can kind of do with a thumbnail. It's kind of like this. And you can kind of measure. That's a good way. And I'm going to be covering that in drawing 1. There's ways to measure with your pencil when you're looking at something or when you're drawing something on the paper. So with that said, let's go ahead and get back. And let's draw that diagonal line. And I can use my top of my paper to follow, see where I need to go. So I need to come up to about here. See that? It's a kind of a technique you can use to grid out your paper. And now I know that's even. And then we'll just come around. Awesomeness. And then, so I have a little space between the eyes, so I know that. So then we'll come over here, come out just a little bit, Kenny says. And then we're going to measure, we're going to see how does that look. It looks all right. We can always adjust our drawing, you know, fine tune it while we're drawing. It's been a while since I've drawn Piccolo, but I like to fulfill requests here in Mahalo. I just do what the people want. I'm going to come over here, add some lines where his brow ridge right here, add one more right here. Then we're just going to come, add kind of like a straight line, and kind of draw like a triangle. We're going to, and then do some shading just around here. Just like kind of around his nose. I'm going to erase that middle line. Yeah, there we go. I'm really happy with that. And I'm going to move his mouth up just a tad. And then just shade down. And then from here I could still continue to kind of fine tune him. Yep, see? And we want to draw light. We want to make sure, you know, we're not pressing too hard so it's easy to erase. But there we go. All right, let me measure up a little bit. So I want to end his brow ridge right about there. And draw another line right here. Yeah, we're getting him down. Another line down the middle of his face. And I'm going to add a little bit of shading right here. And just a little bit around more of his eyes, just to make him look pretty angry. All right. And we just get really dark around his eyes. Okay, and then I can see his head is kind of short when we look at it, because he has actually a tall head. Because he's got like a big, let's say a big brain. So if you have a big head, maybe it's because you have a big brain. Then we can erase and see that it's looking pretty slick. And you know, and then I could see I want to adjust the ear a little bit. I want it to come above his kind of brow ridge, so that's where his ear is going to come up. But I still got that. And look at that, I still use that ear as a reference, and the ear's looking pretty fresh, if I do say so myself. And I hope, yeah, I hope you guys like this video. You know, I did it for you guys, for the fans of the show, of the Kenny Drawing Show. Do-do-do-do-do-do. That's the theme song, by the way. It's still a work in progress. It'll be coming out pretty soon. Buy it on iTunes and such. And then let's go ahead and add that other antenna. But Piccolo is awesome, man. He's a really cool character. So I got that down. I can even kind of shade the side of his head a little bit. We can do that just by kind of doing diagonal lines. Add a little bit of shading his brow, just the front of his brow, to give it some depth. There we go, looking good. And let's kind of commit to those lines right there. Darken up his lip. Add just a little bit of shading in the bottom of the lip. Give it some 3-dimension. And we're looking fantastic. So let's go ahead and start finishing the neck. Let's add that line from right there. And let's go add this line for his bulky neck. Then we're gonna come over here, draw an arc just a little bit. And come over here, draw another arc. Then, I see where I started to put the shirt. And since we have the line all the way down the middle, that's where his chest is going to go. You're going to see just a little bit of it. And it's going to come up around here and add another muscle. You know what I really like drawing Dragon Ball? Because of the muscles and the characters. And it really kind of helps you learn anatomy because the characters were all super burly, kind of like Gears of War-y, all super just buff. And it was just kind of cool because you learn the muscle structure, right? And it's kind of cool when you see it really draw a line and just kind of shade. And we're going to shade pretty dark under his chin. All right, so we got that. Let's go here. All right, guys, little technical difficulty, but I'm working through it. So you might have noticed a little glitch in the system, but we're broadcasting live, but we're good to go. And fixing his head a little bit. So when I take, and you know what? I never really taught you about this. When you're drawing, I'm actually looking at the screen right now. Take a second, look at your drawing from a little far back, because that's when you kind of notice something. When you're kind of far in, you don't really notice it. But if you take a step back and kind of look at it for a second, you're like, oh, you know what? I got to do this, or I got to change that a little bit. So make sure you do that, because right here I'm sitting looking at the drawing so much, I didn't notice it. But take a step back and look at it and you'll be good. All right, so back to the drawing at hand. So you saw that line I did right here, because this is where his shirt is. We draw kind of like a little line going up, going down, and then coming around. And we can draw another line right here for the kind of the folds in the clothes. So there we go. Do the same thing around here. We can add a little line. So yeah, so there we go. And you see, I wasn't happy with the head. When I looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? This needs to be a little bit more bold. So, that's something you would. It's a good thing to do. And actually, see, I kind of use that to my advantage, because then that kind of looks like a brow ridge right there. And let's go ahead and start adding kind of the shapes of the ears. Draw a little bit. But that's a pretty cool looking Piccolo. We're gonna go ahead and draw some more lines just to kind of give them, we could be loose with these lines, a little scratchy right there, and then just kind of start shading them in, just real light, just to make it look a little more dynamic. And I'm gonna go ahead, oops, it's fighting me over here. But yeah, there we go. But we basically have our Piccolo. I'm not going to ink this one in because I really like the sketchy pen look of how he looks like this. I think it's pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. And we could just shade the neck a little bit. Just come around here. It's good if we make it really dark under the chin. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching and commenting and say, hey, Kenny, draw this and draw that. The best place to comment is to send me an email and just say, hey, drawing request for Kenny. And, I'll go ahead and work on that. But this Dragon Ball was for the fans. I started reading the comments, and everyone's like, hey, we want something more serious. Dragon Ball is a great middle ground right before comic book drawing, because it teaches you all the muscles. It's pretty simple. You can really see the shapes of the characters and everything like that. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. Like I said, it's really cool. I hope you guys continue to request and watch these videos, because when they came up to me, said I taught iWeb, and it's like an iMovie, like, hey, what else you want to teach? I'm like, dude, I love to draw. What if I do a drawing series? I'm like, okay, Kenny, go for it. And they liked it, and just continue to watch it. Some people are like, these need more views, and share it with your friends, comment, get it out there so we can draw. I'm really grateful I get the chance to draw with all of you guys, and want to thank you for watching. All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Signing out.